Hey guys, Reginald Duck here. This is a type of video I've not really made before, but I hope you'll enjoy it. It's my top 10 favourite trap cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a new format of video, I've never really done anything, so if it's a bit janky, sorry, oh well. So these aren't the 10 best traps that I consider in the game, these are just my 10 favourite, so try and keep the hate to a minimum, we'll see. So, for my number 1, well, number 10 really, Jar of Greed. Honestly, it's not a very good card, but I love how pointless it is. It just wastes a turn. You just get a card that you should have had a while ago. But I did play it in a certain few decks, like Hope for Exodia, the one with Hope for Escape, that was always nice, and Chain Burn as well, because it can help build chain links quite easily, because things like Chain Strike and Accumulated Fortune need to have chain link 3 or higher, so that's a really good way of doing it. And there are some niche uses for it. Like if you set it and your opponent activates MST, then you actually end up going plus because you just chain it, so they've just wasted an MST. So that's why it gets the number 10 spot. I think it's worthy, Funny looking card, kind of rubbish, but I like it. So for number 9, we've got Heavy Storm Duster. I really like this card. I think it's fantastic. It just gives you so much value, because again you just 2 for 1 in, and the downside doesn't really exist because you skip your battle phase, but you wouldn't get a battle phase in your opponent's turn anyway. So if you activate in the end phase, then you just 2 for 1 in, and you can use it against 1 if you need to. Like if you activate a field spell or continuous spell and trap, you can just chain it to destroy it before it resolves. And I just think it's a really good blowout card, because against a lot of slower decks, you can just outgrind them with cards like this that you're just using 2 of their resources for every 1 of yours. So that's why it gets the number 9 spot. And for number 8, we've got Solemn Warning. I love this card. I wish it could place higher on this list, but it's just not as good as it used to be. It's really, really cool and it's fun, but it's not as good as it used to be, because although it can negate any type of summon, whether it's normal summon, inherent summon, effector summon, spell effector summon, it can negate it. But other than that, it doesn't really do much, because if you go in second, you can't really break boards with it, and you can't really force any of your effects to go through like you can with a strike. You can't really. It's just very limited in what it can do, and for so many limits, it costs 2,000 life points, where a strike costs 1,500, so it's just not as good as it used to be. So, though, it's still good, just there are better cards, especially nowadays. Some have come off the list, some have just been released since. So number 7 is SURTERROR Final Battle. I think it's a really great card. I think all 4 effects come in really useful. It really serves the deck well, and it's a really interesting card. There's not many cards that, well, not many traps that set themselves back down after being activated. They usually go to grave. So the fact it's just always generating your advantage or generating your just interruption is really good. So the ability to combine the attack and defense is great. It helps fix one of the deck's main problems, that you can, you're only playing quite small attack monsters. So by playing this, you can beat over pretty much anything. The effect to stop your SURTERRORs being negated is also great, because you don't want to get called by the grave on your Fiendess, so you can always chain this, and then the call by the grave will still banish, but it won't negate your Fiendess, which is really important. The flipping effects are obviously good. Flip up, face down, flip down. Just helps you, use your Guru to its fullest extent in both players' turns. So that's when you really start gaining your advantage, and you start snowballing until your opponent can't really come back. For number 6, we've got HARPIE'S Featherstorm. I really think this card's amazing. If it was in a better deck, it would probably be much higher on this list, but HARPIE'S aren't particularly good. But it can just end turns, because a lot of combo decks just need the monster effects to be able to do anything. So by just having locked out for an entire turn, it essentially skips the turn and you can just, go on to OTK them or whatever. And the way to search in Harpies, searches it in the end phase, but they've balanced that by the fact that if you control a Harpy, you can activate it from your hand. So it's really useful in that sense. And for my number 5, we've got Trap Trick. I really love Trap Trick. It's honestly fantastic. Choose your own trap. So it's anything you need it to be, whether that's a Impermanence, a Mirror Force, Compulse, whatever. It's that. It's a Sanctum. The fact that you only get locked into one trap after makes such a difference, because it just means you can play it at the right time to get the full value out of it. And it can search basically any normal trap card as long as it's not limited like Metaverse is. So again, really great card. That's why it's my number 5 pick. Number 4, we've got Solemn Strike. Again, I love this card. A lot of similar points to Solemn Warning, but this time good. So it can negate inherent summons, which is usually the most popular type of special summon these days, where you link summon in all your extra summons. So it can negate those, and it can also negate a monster effect. So it could also negate like an effect to summon, for example, and only for the cost of 1,500 life points. So it makes it a lot more usable than Solemn Warning, especially going second. You can always set it and like say a Mirror Force, and then if they try and negate your Mirror Force, you can just strike it, and then spell speed 3. You're probably not going to have a response. So it's a much better version of Solemn Warning, I think, with the negating summons, and also it's just costs less and just has more impact going second as well. So that's why it was my number 4. My number 3, I've picked Compulsory Evacuation Device. I really like this card. I think it's so much fun. I think it's so useful, so versatile. You can use it on your own monsters to return them to hand if it's like a Stratos or a Candina, or just something you didn't want attacking over for next turn. Or you can use it on their link monster, their extra deck monster, and because it doesn't destroy, it gets around a lot of protection like the Dingesu. So, and it doesn't put it in grave for them to use as a resource like many other removal cards would. So by putting it to the extra deck, it's a really efficient way of getting rid of cards where they're not going to come back as easily. So that's why I think Compulsory Evacuation Device is really great, and that's my number 3 pick. On to my number 2. We've got Infinite Impermanence. There's so much to say about this card. There's so many little neat interactions you can do with it that just other cards can't do. For example, Effect Veiler can only negate during your opponent's main phases, whereas Impermanence can do it any time, and it's not susceptible to cards like Called by the Grave. And also, there are other subtle differences, like when you can use it in your turn, you can use it to negate like a Fossil Diner, for example, or anything else like that. And then if you set it, then you can use it to negate even something like a Desires if it's in the same column. And this is the sort of usefulness that makes it my number 2 pick. And I really appreciate how it has more effects if you set it than if you play it from hand. So it encourages you to set it and play it like a normal trap. On to my honourable mentions, we've got Evenly Matched. Honestly, the reason I've not put this anywhere on the list apart from here is because I don't play it that often anymore. With the release of Lightning Storm, I don't find I ever really need to, because I tend to play a lot of blind second decks, and you want to OTK your opponent, so you can't do that if you skip your battle phase. But it does have the best form of removal, with banishing face down without targeting. So it is honestly a fantastic card, just I don't personally play it at the minute. And then on to my number 1. I think we've all guessed it. The OG. Solemn Judgment. It's just the best card. It's just a picture of a guy saying no. I love it. Because they try and do something, you say no. It can negate normal summons, it can negate special summons, it can negate spells, traps, and the only thing it can't negate is monster effects, but there's a lot of other cards that do that. So it gives you a lot of coverage, it protects you from things like Evenly Matched, from Lightning Storm, protects you from whatever you need it to. And the fact that it costs half your life points can seem quite steep at the start, but actually it's not, because 4,000 for the first one is steep, but you can always activate. You never draw it and think, oh, I can't play this. It's honestly fantastic, and that's why it gets my #1 spot. So thanks a lot for watching, guys. I've really enjoyed making this. I hope you all enjoy watching it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you all in the next video.